Afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? Right on it.
Coach, you told us last week that you're going to have to try to figure out kind of what the base defense was going to be, that kind of thing. I'm curious, over the last week, do you like what the progress you made on that side of the ball, figuring that stuff out?
I like the way that we've worked. I think the defensive players did a really nice job of coming out on the field with a good attitude, put a lot of effort into the practices that we had. We're very attentive to detail. I thought the coaching staff did a good job of really trying to work hard on the details of what we're doing. So it was a good week of practice.
Pretty big challenge with Tennessee's offense specifically. I'm curious what you've seen on film from Tennessee.
Yeah, they're a challenge. They've always been a challenge. They spread the field, but they want to run the ball. So the biggest challenge is how do you defend the pass and stop the run. So that's something that we're working hard at, is to being able to understand we have to stop the run first. Got to get a lot of bodies to the football, tackle well. Be gap sound, which we've worked really hard at, and play with great effort. So that's kind of the things that we've been emphasizing.
I wanted to ask you what you thought of Coach Wilson so far, kind of a two-parter, and then what attracted Jay Hayes to hire him.
Yeah, I've really liked what I've seen from Coach Wilson. He does a really nice job of getting everyone to work hard and understand what he's asking them to do. I think the communication that he's had with the athletes has been very, very good. Jay Hayes I've known for years and years and years. I guess we first became friends because he played at the University of Idaho, and obviously I coached at the University of Idaho. So that was one of the things that I guess brought us together. But he coached at Cincinnati Bengals for a long, long time. Marvin was the head coach there, and we've had a really close relationship for a long time since we met at, I think it was DVC Junior College in California, many moons ago. And then we used to go up and watch him practice at Georgetown College when I was at Louisville. So I've known him, watched him coach, watched him practice. He's a really good football coach. So when he reached out and said he would be really interested in it, it immediately caught my interest.
And then offensively, putting your finger on what's happening in the second half, can you maybe discuss what needs to be better, what needs to improve there?
Yeah, we need to continue to play with the same energy and excitement and detail that we have in the first half. We got to come out of the locker room with more energy. We got to run the ball better in the third quarter. One of the issues is to be able to run the ball with the same efficiency in the third quarter that we did in the first two quarters. We're still doing a good job of converting third downs, which helps a lot, but we've got to do a better job of running the football in the third quarter.
How long after last week's dismissals did you start looking for Jay? Seems like he reached out in that sort of timeline.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty immediate. You had to have a plan on what we were going to do. So, Chris was here. I like what we visited about, talked about. I feel really comfortable with him taking over. Shea was here, so him coaching the secondary. He's been working with those guys and doing a good job. So he did that, and then it was, okay, we need one more guy to help. And then the question was, linebacker, D-line. All defensive coordinators seem to, I can't really say all, but they seem to want to coordinate from the linebacker spot because that ties you with the coverage and with the front on, meetings, half-line drills, stuff like that. You're involved in both of them, so it makes a lot of sense. Chris wanted to see if we could bring in a D-line guy. It's funny because him and Jay actually worked in the same building. So, I didn't know a whole lot about that league, but they all practice at the same spot. They work in the same building, and they get on a plane and travel together to play each other in the different cities. So that's pretty interesting. But they knew each other and respect each other a lot, so it made a lot of sense.
Inside of practice and out, just how have your day-to-day duties changed from OC to HC now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to do, that's for sure, especially meeting with the trainer, meeting with the special teams, understanding who's going to get on the bus, who's going to get on the plane. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to call plays and coach the quarterbacks, but that's part of it. I've had experience doing it, so that it makes it fairly easy.
Jalen Brown out, are you wanting younger wide receivers to step up in playing time, or does that rotation just shrink?
No. We're going to need guys to step up. That's a great point. CJ has played both inside and outside, so if we were going to run out there today and start, he would start at Jalen's position, and Sharp would go inside where CJ's been starting at. We need Crutchfield to step up, and he's been doing a really nice job the last few weeks in understanding the offense better, running his routes more precisely. He's a big physical guy. He could really help us. He can play football, and he can make the plays. It's really not about that. It's about him that we can trust him to do the right thing on every single play. We've got to do a better job with him, and that's our job, is to get him ready and make sure that he's good to go, because he's certainly capable of making plays for us. Andy Jean's got to help out on the other outside receiver. He had a really good couple weeks of practices, and then got him in a nice play the other day. But you got to be able to stay fresh and stay fast, and he's got to be able to help us out there. So I think that's what kind of how you look at it.
Coach, how much of the struggles on defense have been scheme or fundamentals or effort?
Yeah, a combination of all, is kind of how we looked at it, and then we've tried to just put it behind us and let's say, hey, tear off the rearview mirror, let's look forward, and this is what we need to do. Not so much of what we haven't been doing, but what we need to do. And, we need to do a better job of getting aligned quickly, getting our eyes where they belong, and everybody getting in a good stance. I'm a big guy of stance. I think that football is, starting point is that I'm in a proper stance and my eyes are right. So we've been drilling that and working hard on it, and they've improved on it. Then you got to get off. If you're a D lineman, you got to beat the offensive lineman to his technique. Usually up front, whoever gets to their technique first has a great advantage to win that play. And it's really about one-play battles between the O-line and the D-line. Our linebackers are working hard at their eyes and what we're seeing, and then fitting properly. Whether I'm a gap fit on this particular look or I'm a scrape fit on this look, we've got to be in the right spots. And then our secondary, our safety's got to work off of that. So sometimes if the linebackers are out of the right spot, then the secondary doesn't know how to fit, where to go, and that's where you get the big plays and the explosive plays. So that's kind of the starting point. I think it's important we all know how to shed blocks. We're working hard at shedding blocks. And then when you mention the effort, it's running full speed to the ball. Not running to the ball, running full speed to the ball. We get all 11 guys doing that. Then good things happen. You get more hits, you get more turnovers. It just good things happen when everyone sprints to the football.
Any looks at possible moving a guy around position-wise, or maybe elevating a guy who wasn't playing as much on defense?
Yeah, we've had a week off. We've had not a week off, but we've had a week of preparation, and then we play, Tennessee. So we're not going to talk a lot about what we're going to do with individuals and where they might line up in this first game, just to see if maybe we can get a little bit of advantage there.
Any paths crossed with Josh Heupel or anybody on that Tennessee staff?
Not really. I got to go up and watch Coach Heupel coach when he was with Barry. I went up there and spent a couple days their spring ball and watched him coach and watched him work. But I don't really know him at all.
How much have you changed what practices actually look like and how they're run in this first week?
Yeah, they've changed. I've always believed this, and I think it's because when I was first young in the profession, the guy told me once, you can only coach what you know. And what I know is the schedule that I like and the way it goes. And so there's some change in that, and there will be. I'm not a big 4-day-a-week practice guy, although we're going to get out there today and sweat and work hard and go. What I normally like to do after the game is bring them back on Sunday night, watch the video, let the vets or the guys that played in the game get out and run. It gets the soreness out, and then practice the young guys and get them to improve knowing the offense and defense and working through that on Sunday night practice. Give them Monday off, and then come back and have a good Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule of how we work and prepare. So we'll do that after this game. But we have to get out there because we've had 3 days off and really get out there and sweat and, do a quick hour practice and get off the field today.
Has anything about the way you do those practices changed from last time you were head coach here, or has that been kind of the routine your whole career?
It changes a little bit because of the roster and the amount of guys that you've had on roster. So what we do is we have a couple periods throughout practice where you practice like you would in the NFL, where the ones go against the twos, but the twos are given the look of the opponent. And that's how the whole practice flows in when I was in the NFL. So it helps you get the speed that you want. It helps you get a better look. It limits your reps a little bit, but it is very advantageous to see in the type of speed and physicalness that you need in practice. So that's changed since I was here before.
And then looking at this weekend's game, with the way these two defenses have played, do you expect another high-scoring game, and do you feel like the team's equipped for that?
Yeah, you never know on those. I've went into a lot of games where you thought, oh, man, this is going to be a shootout, and it's at halftime 10-9. So you never know how that's going to play out. So we're certainly, though, I feel like we've got to go in and be able to move the ball and score points.
Bobby, somewhat of a follow-up to what Matt was asking, kind of on how your duties change. How does that change on game day? You have so much experience being an offense coordinator, being a play caller, and doing it as a head coach. So how different will this Saturday be than previous weeks or years?
I don't think it'll be that much different. I've been down on the sideline and called plays for years and years. I went upstairs this year. I thought maybe I could get a better look at it and to be honest with you, get away from the officials and just be able to focus on offense. So I've got to do a good job of just keeping my poise on the sideline and focus on calling the plays and seeing the defenses and really understanding what's going on out on the field.
It's easy to point to wins and losses as a sign of improvement, but realistically to you, what do you want to see that indicates things are getting better?
Yeah, I want us to do the process right, do the things that you need to do to win games, and that's our, in our preparation and how we practice, how we go about our daily business, how the players are in the building, in the weight room, and then that gives you the opportunity to win. If as long as you're doing the things that lead up, the end result is with a W. So we're gonna work hard on preparing and doing things right, and then getting out on the field and compete. I want everybody out there competing hard and giving us their best effort. The one thing about being here at Arkansas, it's always been about being tough and physical and hard-nosed, and we got to get to that.
I guess one more on Coach Hayes real quick. As someone who, hasn't coached in college for a long time to suddenly come back to this level of football, maybe what are some of the challenges and advantages to doing that?
Yeah, I think the advantage that he has is how many years he's coached professionally and the athletes that he's been with and helped develop and help give an edge to. And that's kind of what we were looking for here, is somebody to come in and give our players a little edge, a little something new that they haven't had. And he certainly, got right to work, got here. He drove up from St. Pete, got here on Saturday night, was in working hard yesterday, really started with getting to know who the players are, then watching the video of them, then making notes. And I think he'll have a fun week this week on giving guys a little something that they can take an edge to.
And then just, obviously one of the things that changes is I guess you're the one that has the final call calling timeouts and in game management situations. Does anything change as far as the operation there now that you're the head coach?
No, not really. I think, if anything, it makes it easier on 2 minute because you understand, like, when you are going to call a timeout and not, when you want to keep going and when you want to flow, how it goes. So it actually makes the play calling a little bit easier in the 2 minute situations, into half situations, whether you're going to go for it on 4th down or not. You're thinking ahead on that, and not just hearing it through the headset. So I think if anything, it make it simpler.
When you look around and see Pete Carroll and a Bill Belichick doing this in their 70s, is this something you like to do a good while longer, this coaching?
Well, I don't think the age is what the determination is. I feel great right now physically. I'm feeling really good. I have a lot of energy. I think it's been fun the last 2 years here with the quarterback room and with Talon and the guys that we have on offense. It's been really enjoyable. So I think my hunger's still there, and as long as I can get up every morning and be motivated and feel great about it, I want to keep doing it.
Coach, you mentioned Courtney Crutchfield earlier. I'm curious where he's made the most progress since maybe the spring, and what's it say about him that he's stuck with it? A guy getting buried on the depth chart could have easily thrown in the towel, but it seems like he's stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when he got here, he was out of shape. So he spent spring of really going, oh man, he was heavy. He had a little bit too much adipose tissue in his stomach area. And he worked extremely hard in the summer. I was really proud of the way he came back in the summer on the percent of body fat. His weight was way down. And all of a sudden now you looked at a guy that had a hard time going 5 plays in a row fast. Now he's going 8 plays, 9 plays in a row and getting in a position where you really like to see him. It took him a little bit of time to learn the offense. That's understandable. Young guys, it's harder than – say like Blake, who's been through in 3 different installations, and now you pick things up a little bit quicker because you learn how to do it. But I do feel extremely excited about Courtney and his abilities, and now he has the understanding of the offense. I'm looking for him to get out there and make plays for us.
I want to ask you about Antonio Jordan as well. I know he had the ankle injury to start the season. Is he a guy that maybe could, as the season goes on, maybe work into that rotation as well?
Definitely can. We were really excited about his camp and how he was playing. He's an outlier. There's not guys that are that physical size and that ability and can turn their body and jump in the air and make catches. He had a really bad injury, really bad ankle sprain. He's come back on it, and he's shown a tremendous amount of toughness. It's still bothering him a little bit. I'm thinking this week, 3 days off might help him a lot. But there's no question he's going to be a tremendous player here.
I know you never went to Neyland when you were here. I don't know if you did at Auburn, but I know you went in 2023. Is that the only time you've ever been?
Yeah, the only time I've been there.
What do you think about that environment, 100,000 plus?
It's awesome. It's awesome. You always want to go into a hostile environment and have fun with it and go. So I felt like, at Ole Miss, we did a really nice job of handling the noise, the communication, knock on wood, didn't have pre-snap penalties. I thought the experience for Talon and those guys were right on. So I feel like, we'll go in there and handle it well. I'm optimistic we'll go in there and handle it well. It is different. It'll be louder. It'll be more hostile than Ole Miss was. But we've got to do a good job preparing for it. And what that says is that you come off the practice field with a headache every day because that noise you play out there is awful.
Is that Rocky Top?
No, you don't play that. But just the noise that you have to make, between plays and all that, so you can call the play, and it makes for a stressful time, and but it's fun.
Tyler Wilson has said this, and I think I remember it too. It's been a while since I've watched one of your practices, but it felt like everything was kind of centered around the quarterback, like everything kind of flowed with the quarterback. Is that an accurate statement? And if so, what is your philosophy on that?
Yeah, that's an accurate statement. I always see the practice through the quarterback's eyes, and how do we get our quarterback to outplay their quarterback. I think that's the starting point of how you win a game is our quarterback outplays their quarterback. We got a great chance to win the game. So we try to always set practice up that, the progression of practice is as the quarterback goes.
And that's different than how it's done, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that's not going to be a whole change different, but yeah, it'll be different.
I think Morgan Turner's swapping places with you in the box. What were the conversations with him like? Did you approach Colby at all, maybe about about that?
Morgan's been up in the box with me up there, and also Dylan, who does a really nice job. We've been communicating, the three of us up there. I'm not going to move Colby up there because he has responsibility on the sidelines that he's been doing a great job with. So we'll just keep it the same guys up.
And just to refresh from Wednesday, is the portal list still empty?
Yes, sir.
You know, who would have thought 13 years ago you'd be sitting where you're sitting? Has that maybe gone through your head, the things that had to take place for you to be back here as head coach? And what does it mean to you?
You know, it went through my head when Sam hired me, and how grateful I am for him to, you know, have that courage to bring me back, and really, you know, can't say enough about that. I think that, you know, that was something that was really special to me. I felt like this is awesome. I get to come back here and give to a place that I certainly left the wrong way. Since this has happened, I really haven't given it a whole lot of thought. I've really tried to focus on let's just get better today. Let's make this a place where the players like to come in, feel good about themselves, work hard about themselves, understand that they need to earn it. You know, I think that's one of the things that they've done a nice job of, is to showing that they want to make themselves marketable and what their brand is, and I'm excited about how they've approached it. I like the coaching staff, how they've approached it too. We all know that, you know, we got 8 weeks to show what we can and can't do, and let's have fun with it. Let's work extremely hard, and let's all stick together.
What about Aguilar in particular? They feel like maybe they've upgraded at quarterback. What do you think of him?
He's a good player. You know, he's got tons of experience. He understands defenses and coverages, and we've got to try to make him uncomfortable.
And then I don't think analytics was quite around in 2012, but it's certainly advanced since then. Your fourth down philosophies in general, are you more aggressive? Do you think you'll be different than the way Sam was on fourth downs?
Well, I haven't been very aggressive this year on fourth down because we have actually 0. So I've been trying to, you know, prepare for that and see, okay, if it's 4th and 1, what do you do? 4th and 2, what do you do? I'm a pretty aggressive person, so I can't say that I'm going to just go for it. And I do think that it does matter besides analytics. You know, I think it matters who their Mike linebacker is, who our right guard is, matters who their left defensive end is, who our tight end is, and you know, it's not just a computer game where you punch it in and say, analytics says go for it. It's a good way to hide when you make a bad decision, you know. So maybe I'll say that on 4th and 1 if we get stopped. I'll say, well, analytics told me I should go for it. But I'm not going to do that. I believe in the players. I think it's a player-driven game. All right, thanks, guys.